What's going on, Jay? What's poppin'? Oh my gosh. I gotta step back from that collection a little bit. It's funny, you turn your camera on and people just start flooding in. It's hilarious. There's always this like small delay. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. It's a good fragrance, Jay. I think Hawas Ice is the best in the line, to be honest. You know, Fire's cool, the other one's cool, but I think Ice is just the Swiss Army knife. What's up, Christine? Clinique's happy. Have you ever smelled the men's version, Christine? I've always wondered if they're different because the men's one is so unisex. I'm always like, yeah, they put for men and for women and the bottles look slightly different, but I feel like they're the same fragrance. Good fragrance though, very bright, invigorating. Is the men's different though than the women's? What's up, D? So Garcia, good to see you. Not the same fragrance, like the men's more. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I had the men's. I donated it just because I have a lot of scents in that vein, but it's a beautiful fragrance. I love it. Very slept on. The men's is more manly. I mean, it's a heavy citrus fragrance, so, you know, I don't see how it could go wrong with anyone's. How much is the cologne? The cologne's a lot. What's up, Kazim? Good to see you, brother. Christine, I'll hit you up this week. I should be done with kind of the angles I want to go. So want to chat with you this week to go over that with you and see what you lean towards, and then we'll put something on the calendar for sure. Excited to do that, by the way. Scent of the day for me was what was my scent of the day? That's actually a great question. The heck was I wearing today? I forgot what the heck I was wearing. It was either Blue Talisman or was it Blue Talisman? I forget. I forget what the heck my scent of the day was. I put it on this morning and then I forgot. I think it might have been Talisman. Might have been Talisman. Pretty sure. And actually a pretty dope spin on Talisman is a pure coconut oil or lotion, and then you put this on top. It's kind of got like a Blue Lagoon vibe to it. Special announcement. The only ex nihilo boutique in Hollywood, in LA, no, on Hollywood Boulevard, has a new release coming out soon, and it has to do with this fragrance. I think you guys will be, I think it'll light FragCom on fire. They'll be very shocked to hear the announcement. The representative, the store manager of Ex Nihilo, contacted me a couple of days ago and let me know that they have a new release on the way. And they shared it with me, but I don't know if it's my information to share, but it's going to be a sick release, trust me. Do you have Kenzo? I do not have Kenzo. But yeah, I think normally I'll put on the lotion under Blue Talisman, but I think I just wore straight Blue Talisman today. Which reminds me, I need to bust out my Casamarati, because this is my favorite blue fragrance of all time. I've been missing this. But, you know, reviewing fragrances. I think we reviewed 30 fragrances just this weekend in the last 2 days. So you're always wearing different fragrances and stuff. I wear fragrances more for like science reasons, you know what I mean, right now, because I have to do so many reviews. But I miss Mephisto very much. I think it's my best blue fragrance of all time so far. Yeah, it was dope. She hit me. I had posted some music on my Instagram and she hit me up. No, food. I had cooked some dinner or something and she had reached out to me and we started talking for half a second and she was like, "Yeah, by the way, such and such is going to come out really soon." So I was letting her know, once it drops, I'll go out to LA and we'll go to the boutique and she'll show it to us. So that'll be really fun. And I think this release is going to be one that people have been dying to see, but didn't know if it would come out. So I don't know what the release date is, but it's supposed to be, she said, very soon. And I know FragCom will be talking about it because they've always been talking about possibly getting a fragrance like this. Chanel Allure Homme Sport is awesome, Ezio. Very nice fragrance. I like the Blanche one, but I do like Chanel Allure Homme Sport. I think it's a Swiss Army knife type of fragrance. I bought Supremacy in Heaven. It's nice. Any other recommendations? Depends, Barry. What are you looking for, brother? I'm glad you enjoyed Supremacy in Heaven. Keep wearing it, though. It actually macerates really nice. Have you smelled Drake's new cologne? Yeah, Summer Mink. I've done 2 reviews on it. I did a hot take review on Summer Mink. That's very brief, so if you just want to know if it smells good and what it smells like. And then I also did 4 fragrances that obliterate Summer Mink that are cheaper than Summer Mink. So if you want to know about fragrances that you can get for much cheaper that smell in the same profile but a little bit better, in my opinion, I have that video as well. So those are releases that came out in the last month, and I think you'll get a lot of value out of them. Even if I like or don't like a fragrance, I try to really objectively look at the best qualities of a fragrance to see what it's going for and see if even people who don't have the same taste as me might appreciate things about a fragrance. So I think it's a well-rounded review. You'll know whether or not it's a fragrance for you. Thank you, mods, for sweeping up the nerds. What is it with the whole Lamar Jackson comment? It's just a meme. People watch too much social media and they look at all these different, current event trends and stuff. They're just being weird. I got mods in here, guys. So, I mean, if you want 5 seconds of fame, I want to give it to you. Giving out a lot of fame tonight. What's up, Nativa? Good to see you. What's your most expensive cologne? Probably Diaghilev. Actually, no. This is probably top 3 most expensive, but probably one of these. What do you think about Spice Bomb red and brown one? Green is disgusting. Honestly, I feel like Spice Bomb Extreme Original is the best. Everything from that to me is like a flanker, so night vision, leather, infrared. The musk one that came out is not bad. The latest release, Silver Musk or something Musk, the all silver chromed out one. That one's nice, but the original is always the best. Spice Bomb Extreme, seductive spice vanillic fragrance. To me, there's just nothing really beating that. Everything else smells like it with a twist. And I think the twists are just kind of reaching for something. A lot of them really suck at performance. Spice Bomb Extreme, you get the original DNA. It's ramped up because it's an extreme. It's a date night killer. And you get 8-10 hours of performance. So I think if you have Spice Bomb Extreme, you have all of them. Infrared is a close second. And if you want a fragrance that kind of marries original Spice Bomb Extreme and infrared, there is a really valid clone out right now. Where is it actually? Right here. Odyssey Ohm Black Edition. This is like Spice Bomb Extreme and Spice Bomb Infrared had a baby. Still get 8+ hours of performance, 25-ish bucks, 100 ml. Bottle looks ridiculous, but if you're just looking to get a great fragrance and get Spice Bomb on a budget, this smells designer quality, and it'll get you all the same compliment factor, same romance. Really nice. It's a little bit fresher, but it's like 9 out of 10. And it's one of the best clones out there. If you want something with cherry in it, go Mind Games French Defense. Go Low Medial Extreme, Cherry Almond Champagne. Cherry's a sensitive subject. It's all over the place. It really just depends what style you like. What do you think of Sauvage older bottles smelling way stronger and new bottles not as strong? It doesn't matter. You'll still get the same compliments with EDT, EDP, Parfum, and Sauvage Elixir. They're all compliment getters. They're all mass appealing. You know, some of the most highly sold fragrances in the designer world. It doesn't matter which one you get. Thank you, mods. Appreciate you guys sweeping up all the nerds. Oud for Greatness. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you don't need Oud for Greatness with the clone out. I have both, just for the purpose of you guys believing me when I tell you. These are the same fragrance, the exact same. And this is one of the few clones that actually looks decent on the shelf, you know? I call this the Great Gatsby fragrance. You know, Leonardo DiCaprio is sitting on his, you know, staircase balcony in the mansion overlooking the party. You know, this fragrance is really stunning. But with that being said, this is 1-to-1. This is like a couple % fresher, you know, the tiniest bit fresher. Exact same profile, exact same longevity, dang near same bottle. So, you know, several $100s, $25 on Amazon. I'm going to tell people to go with this 9 times out of 10, unless you have a collection and clout and appearance means something to you, get the original. But, you know, they're both phenomenal. I don't think when it comes to God tier clones, this has to go down in Hall of Fame history as one of the best 1-to-1s, in my opinion. But yeah, I love Oud for Greatness. It's phenomenal. One of the most wearable ouds out there. Very unisex, beautiful. Let's see what else we got. Favorite Issey Miyake? Most of them. You know, Issey Miyake, the perfumer for most of those bottles, is the same perfumer from LV. So you're going to get a lot of citrus-based fragrances, a lot of classy male unisex citrus fragrances that really imitate L'Immensité, Afternoon Swim, Imagination, Meteor, Symphony. So I always tell people, like, if you can't afford Louis Vuitton fragrances, rather than getting the clones, just go into the designer world and get Issey Miyake fragrances, because most of them imitate all of the LV citrus-based fragrances, because it's the same perfumer. The same perfumer pretty much makes flanker renditions of existing LV fragrances. Okay. What other stuff do we got? Thank you, mods. Appreciate you guys. You make my life beautiful. Initio Side Effect and Mind Games Blockade in terms of smell and longevity. Initio Side Effect is a very boozy, rosy's probably not the best word, but it's rosy. It's a seductive, spicy, boozy, rosy fragrance. I think it's quite feminine slash teeny bop, teenager, expensive type of fragrance, or a guy in his 20s type of rich flex, seductive fragrance. It's a little, it's not my tea. Um, Fragrances from the Initio line, I think, are better just because they balance the sweetness better, at least for masculine scents. It's hard talking to women as a man talking about seductive scents these days because a lot of women will name seductive scents that are unisex, and I don't think women realize how most men, and by most men I mean most men I interact with because I don't represent the male population in terms of interests, but most of the men I come across really prefer a more masculine than sweet seductive fragrance. And the younger guys, 25 and down, prefer more ramped up sweetness with support masculinity. So Side Effect is a fragrance that gravitates more towards the 30 and down crowd in terms of people I deal with on a daily basis. um, Men, I'm 36, I'll be 37 soon. Men 30 and up that I deal with typically lean towards Blessed Baraka, Narcotic Delight, Psychedelic Love, those type of fragrances because they handle sweetness a little bit smoother. They're a little less boisterously sweet and have a little bit more sexy masculine touches. Um, and so, like, personally for me, Psychedelic Love uh, is a much better treatment of sweetness, but it's nowhere near the same style of fragrance outside of just being a romantic fragrance as Side Effect. As far as comparing Side Effect to Blockade, I think they're both equally as sweet, but they're two kind of different fragrances in my mind, but they're both really good. I'm not going to diss Side Effect just because it's not my tea. It is a mass appealing fragrance, probably one of the highest sold in the Initio lineup for men mainly. Women do buy Side Effect, but mostly men buy Side Effect. And it gets a lot of compliments. It has insane performance. So if you're out like at a club or in public, that fragrance is going to leave a crazy scent trail. So from that standpoint, it's really nice, but it's a little bit too sweet for me. I even think Atomic Rose is a bit softer, more palatable than Side Effect, but Side Effect has a little bit more sexiness just because it's like overkill sexy. But it's not my tea. Same with Blockade. I mean, Blockade's a good fragrance. Again, Side Effect's a good fragrance. They're just not my style. Yo, what up, SB? I picked up the Rasasi Rattan you told me about. Absolute killer scent. Hey, I'm so glad. Hey, listen, thanks guys for giving me feedback. We're now at a place where probably 30 to 40 bottles a month get purchased based off of my recommendations, which is like crazy. I'm not endorsed by anybody. I don't put out affiliate links. Um, I have no vested interest in you guys buying fragrances that I recommend, but it is nice to get your guys' feedback because I genuinely want to know. If I tell you guys you should pick up a fragrance and you do and you don't like it, please tell me. In my entire YouTube career so far, one person came to me and said a fragrance I recommended was okay, and hundreds of people have given me great feedback of, hey, thank you so much, I really enjoyed this scent. So it's good to get feedback because I'm always looking to be the best I can be when it comes to giving good, not just good recommendations, but good information about fragrances that's objective and not completely my opinion and stuff like that. So thank you for letting me know, Mike, that you enjoyed Fatan. He's referring to Risasi. A lot of people are very familiar with the Hawass fragrances from Risasi, but a lot of people don't know about Fatan, which is really, truthfully, a designer clone of Terre de Hermes. A little bit fresher, a little bit more natural, a little less heavy on the tart mandarin orange and vetiver, but very close to Terre de Hermes, probably about 9.5 out of 10 closeness. And the little bit of deviation where it's different is just in it being a little bit more natural, leans more into the vetiver than the grapefruit orange accord, but it's still very much there. And that fragrance is $20 on Amazon. Absolute banger of a clone. And it's not actually a clone, it's a designer fragrance. So people aren't really interested in Terre de Hermes as much anymore, and I don't understand why. It's a very, very nice utility Swiss Army knife everyday fragrance. Okay, what other questions do we got? Is amethyst close to atomic rose? Honestly, in a very weird way, Travis, amethyst is both close to atomic rose and side effect. It's kind of like in between both of them, but where it's not like side effect is there's no booze. The boozy note in side effect, I feel like, makes it more perfectly unisex. The lack of booze makes it feel old lady-ish. And that's the biggest complaint with amethyst is that a lot of people say it comes off like an old lady, like a fly 50-year-old woman, you know? So if you're not willing to combo fragrances to kind of soften up and change amethyst, you're just wearing it by itself. Most people sell their bottle of amethyst, but it is very close to both side effect and atomic rose by at least 80%. I think you have to manipulate the fragrance by using oils, lotions, or comboing it with other fragrances to really make it feel more masculine and or closer to atomic rose, which is more of a cartoon animated rose water type of scent, and side effect, which is more of a jammy rosish spiced boozy fragrance. What's up, Dame? Good to see you, brother. Do you have Angel Share by Killian? I don't, but I don't really need it because this fragrance exists. I have Angel Share as a travel spray as reference, so people know that I've put my nose on it. But Amir by Paris Corner, Fire Your Desire, to me is the top two best Angel Share clones, 25 bucks, 100 ml. This is exactly Angel Share. Cinnamon, praline, cognac, vanilla, spices, amber. It's as one-to-one as you're gonna get with Angel Share. The only other fragrance that is just as close to Angel Share as this is French Avenue's something Nero. Something Nero, Nero. It's the second version of that fragrance, which I think is the Nero. I forget the other part of the name. But this is better to me than Nero because this actually has the cognac note. To me, an Angel Share, the only thing that safely keeps it somewhat masculine to being a perfectly unisex fragrance is the cognac. If you remove the cognac, that is a feminine scent, 100%. Cognac gives it a little bit of spritz that isn't just taking it down the holiday seductive romance vibe. And this clone is one of the only ones that actually has that pronounced cognac note. Okay. Esteban says, what do you think about Vintage Radio? Accurate clone. Vintage Radio is about, truthfully, like 90%. I think most people would say it's pretty one-to-one, but if, in all honesty, it's like 90% to Paragon. Paragon's a little bit fresher. I don't know if that's due to musk or like earthiness or something, but it smells just like Paragon, but it's heavier. It's jammier, you know, plum, Palo Santo. And I don't think you get as much Palo Santo notes in Paragon as well. But it's the closest thing, and aside from the fact that it's not 100% accurate to Paragon, it's still an amazing unisex fragrance that I think leans a bit masculine due to the Palo Santo wood, you know, that kind of barbershop elegant woodiness. But if you live in a place with warmer weather, it's hard to find reasons to wear that fragrance. If you live on the East Coast or more central, colder weather, then it's an absolute smash hit and you'll wear it a lot. It is nuclear, so you'll get 10 plus hours of performance on it, and it is the closest Paragon that I've ever smelled. And it's a cool looking bottle. You know, I gifted that to somebody during a giveaway, so it is a good fragrance, but it's not one-to-one, but it doesn't need to be. It's a great fragrance on its own. Yeah, you're gonna get the trolls, Christine. Sometimes when I pop into your live, I see there's trolls, and honestly, it's not unique to you or anybody. It's just as people flood in, you know, they steal their mom and dad's phone and they like to get the troll going. But you know, I have AI mods in here, and I have a couple of human being mods in here that they get. It's a wet dream for them to see trolls in here because that it makes them, you know, keeps them active. They get to snipe a bunch of nerds out of here, and it's a beautiful thing. So hopefully, Christine, you got some people modded up, or some AI filters where when people type certain words, it bumps them out. And you kind of just roll through it. You take what comes with this stuff. What do you think about Versace Eros Energy? Very playful pineapple fragrance. To me, 25 and down, it makes a lot of sense for, but I think in the world of clones today, you pretty much have your pick of the litter when it comes to pineapple fragrances. You can go Energy, you can go Absolute, you can go Aventus Cologne, you can go Nishane Hasavat. I mean, shoot, you can even go down to Kate Alferson or something like that. There's just a lot of pineapple varieties. You can also go actually Trace Oros. It's not really an Aventus fragrance, but this is heavy in pineapple as well. Brown sugar, cinnamon, mandarin orange, pineapple, plantain, and honey. Very seductive, exotic style. In the vein of Angel Share, it's somewhat like Angel Share had a baby with Parfums de Marly Wajan and then sprinkled plantain on it. It's not banana, it's plantain, which is much different. Honey soaked plantain, very good, desserty, entry-level gourmand that has probably might be my most complimented date night fragrance of the year so far. Anything from Dua, I know it's a clone brand, but are they really good? With Dua and Alexandria, it's 50-50. Everything is, everything from Dua and Alexandria is hit or miss. 50% of their stuff, they knock it out the park. 50% of their stuff is terrible. So it's best if you know somebody who's been suckered into buying a lot of Alexandria and Dua, because they'll let you know which ones are trash and which ones are treasure. Same with Yam and Lail. Then you have other brands like Kingsgate, Sensual Obsessions. There's a lot out there. People don't realize there's actually a lot of inspiration houses out there. And I've done kind of 5-pack reviews of a lot of them, so just check out the channel. Oh, okay, Christine. That's dope. I figured we were close. Scent of the day, Versace The Dreamer. I don't wear this fragrance at all anymore, but this is a original late 90s batch, which really means nothing because I don't wear the fragrance. But when it comes to vintage and old fragrances, this is one of 3 that I have that's extremely old. I think I got this bottle probably like in the year 2000. If anyone wants to know what a 25-year bottle of Versace Dreamer smells like, let me know. We'll do them in the next giveaway for fun. Another very vintage bottle I have is this Marc Jacobs by Marc Jacobs. To me, this is the Genesis DNA for fragrances like Cedrat, Boisé, Coromandel, Le Lion, Nishane Ani, stuff like that. This juice is like 25 years old as well. This fragrance was one of my first original cold weather / date night fragrances that always got the job done for me. Don't ask me why an 18-year-old boy was wearing this fragrance, because this is masculinity in a bottle. I was way too young to be wearing this fragrance, but it got me a lot of play in high school and college, actually. you have any recommendations for a fragrance that's a resinous, amber, warm, kind of boozy, only kiss to sweetness, masculine, warm scent, still mass appealing? I'm going to show you a fragrance that's everything you asked for minus the mass appeal. I can't speak on... I normally have a pretty good pulse on whether something is mass appealing or not. This one I can't really speak to, but I get a lot of good feedback from this fragrance. This is $40. This is Lalique Designer House. This is Ombre Noir. Beautiful juice, beautiful bottle, sexy bottle. This fragrance isn't discontinued, but every time it gets released, it is sold out immediately. You have about 3 to 5 days to buy this bottle when it comes out on Joma Shop or Max Aroma or fragrancebuy.ca. This is the smoothest tobacco fragrance and the smoothest booze fragrance you've ever smelled. Smoothest tobacco. So top notes, you have bergamot, mint, and like papyrus. You have... All you need to know is that in the base, there's tobacco, amber, cinnamon, and cognac. But then there's green notes that give it a earthiness. You know, normally a tobacco, cinnamon, or vanillic scent goes tobacco vanilla-ish. You know what I'm saying? This does not do that. This is mostly a masculine fragrance that's about 3 to 4 out of 10 sweet. So the sweetness is super knocked down. It leans forward in masculinity. Smooth pipe tobacco, drenched in cognac, and then it has like notes like papyrus and bergamot and mint that just take this to a whole nother level. I always describe it like, pretend you're in Manhattan and you just booked a hotel. The rooms go for, you know, base price $600 a night. You're in the first floor checking in into like a 50-foot skyscraper of a hotel. And you walk into the first floor, there's a woman in a fur coat at the cocktail bar sipping a martini because she's sick of her millionaire boyfriend that's, you know, in the room above her. She needed to step out for a drink. She's fur coated out sipping a, let's say, a Mai Tai or a martini or appletini or something like that. Then you look to your left in the lounge and there's a group of guys talking, smoking a cigar. They're by like a fireplace. You know, it's an all glass kind of fireplace setup. And you check into your hotel, and as soon as you get your keys, you go into the lobby. And so there's the smell of amber, booze, and fire, a little bit of tobacco, very smooth though. And then as you're about to get into the elevator, a drunk guy gets out and accidentally spills his cognac all over your leather jacket. And that scent of the cognac and everything you just experienced is all in this juice. For $40, this fragrance feels like a $200-300 fragrance, and that's why it sells out. It's probably top 2 best Lalique releases ever. I think a lot of people see the words ombre noir and start associating it with a lot of fragrances that either have the word ombre or noir in it, and they can't possibly think that a $40 designer fragrance would even hold a candle to any of that. But I assure you, this is one of the best tobacco fragrances ever made, because it does something different. It does not go down sweet tobacco lane. There's no vanilla in it at all. The only way it's giving sweetness is from the slight sweetness from a rich pipe tobacco and cinnamon. Outside of that, oh, and sweetness from cognac. Outside of that, it's a cognac, bergamot, mint, papyrus, lavender type scent. It's absolutely incredible. And I would buy, I don't think I'll ever not own that fragrance. I'll always buy that bottle back to back to back. Thoughts on Kilian Back to Black? Have you tried it? I have not. As far as by Kilian, I've tried about 70% of the line. The only fragrances I actually own full bottles of is Black Phantom and Straight to Heaven. Amazing fragrances to me. I prefer their more dark, seductive side of the line, but on the freshness side, I do like the Apple Brandy is okay. The Angel Share is okay. I do like the not the vodka on the rocks. The Blue Moon Ginger Dash is really nice. So I am a big fan of that. You know, there are also the unisex slash feminine leaning fragrances like Love Don't Be Shy and I forget. There is a fragrance I want to pick up from them called Sacred Wood that a lot of people don't talk about. That's actually a banger fragrance. I do have a lot of samples of By Kilian, but those are the only 2 actual bottles I own. I do want to get my hands on Sacred Wood, pause, but that's the only one I have my eye on. Thanks, Dream. What up, SB? Chat Rockin' Tarathi Blue, banger freshie. Yeah, it's one of the best. It's one of the best Tigars out there. You know, I smelled a fragrance the other day in my collection that basically is Tigar but better, and that is Kajal 3. This fragrance, you wouldn't think Tigar could get any better, but this is Tigar, but done better. There's just a little bit more going on in it. I feel like it has the masculine background touches that Tigar does not have. You know, this is kind of like a work and play fragrance. Absolute banger, though. I will say Peugeot 1 doesn't smell like Absolute Aventus, and I have both in my opinion. You're wrong. It's that simple. And I have both as well. What are some of your next fragrance pickups, bro? Fragrances I have coming in the mail. You guys know I've been on a niche kick for the last 4 months just because I wanted to focus on niche only. A lot of you guys don't realize this, but I actually haven't been making content in like 3 months because I'm so backed up on YouTube. Like I just started filming content again yesterday, and I have 40 videos uploaded into the queue on YouTube to be released. So I'm dropping videos every single day, sometimes twice a day, and I'm living in the future right now because videos I filmed today, you guys won't see for like a month and a half because I have so many videos. Like I would have to drop 2 to 4 videos every single day for you to get current where I'm at. I just do too much content, guys. So I've actually had so much content backloaded into YouTube that I was able to take 3 months off and you guys didn't even know because videos are dropping every single day. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. But new fragrances. So I'm almost at the end of my niche journey in terms of like just focusing on niche purchases because it's been getting quite costly. But new fragrances coming in, which will probably be the last of the niche for right now, is Aqua Media from Maison Francis Kirkjohn. There's a fragrance from Matière Premier. It's their showcase amber fragrance. I forget the name of it. Encrave something. I have Nasamato Pardon coming in and Nasamato Barounda. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I have a couple other ones from Javoy coming in. Best clone of Bleu de Chanel. Here's Bleu de Chanel EDP, right? Which is still pretty darn affordable. Closest Bleu de Chanel in my opinion. I don't really care what anybody says because none of these guys can show me that they have both fragrances. But Club de Nuit Iconic, $25 on Amazon. It is literally 1-to-1 to Bleu de Chanel EDP. And it actually outperforms Bleu de Chanel EDP by like an hour or 2, which is pretty crazy. Do you have any Sauvage? Yes. I think that's the best smell of the world for 2025. It's not, but it is a very great scent. In fact, I just dropped a video about a month ago on Sauvage EDT versus EDP versus Parfum versus Sauvage Elixir. So definitely check out that video if you want to see my thoughts on the differences between all 4 and which one you should pick based off your age and your interests. Thanks for the breakdown. Definitely subscribing anytime, Travis. And by the way, guys, if you can, there's 42 people in here. There's 24 people that liked it. If you want YouTube to start sprinkling more fragrance-related people into here, click the 3 dots right here or right here. And once you hit the 3 dots, hit the like button on the menu there. once they see that it's half, if not more, which it is right now, but as you drive that number up, YouTube will just start pouring more fragrance heads in here. So I don't really care. I always do great numbers on my live, but if you want more fragrance heads in here, chopping it up in the chat, it's up to you guys. So if you want to enhance your experience in here. I just picked up a few bottles of Straight to Heaven and Smoking Hot. Very nice. You won't be disappointed by Straight to Heaven. If you can, get the Straight to Heaven Intense. My Straight to Heaven only gives me like 2-3 hours of performance, which is blasphemy, but I don't care. It's one of the best scents ever. I'll buy it over and over. Same thing with YSL Original Loam. Get Straight to Heaven Intense or Extreme. I forget what the name of it is. I think it's a O Intense. You'll get a lot more performance out of that, and you need it. Thank you, Joel, for reminding people that I'm not a robot. What is the best frag with neroli? Please recommend. I mean, honestly, people can disagree with me all they want. This fragrance is still probably the most sold neroli fragrance, and that's Neroli Portofino from Tom Ford. The performance is very moderate to low, but it doesn't matter. It's one of the most sold neroli fragrances, period. Designer, niche, just is what it is. A lot of people might not think the most out of Neroli Portofino. Some people think it's somewhat baby powderish, Johnson & Johnson, whatever. The world has spoken, and top 2, top 3 most sold neroli emphasized fragrances out there is Neroli Portofino, point blank period. So if you want to ask me the fragrance I think that you'll most be able to wear that's neroli forward, it's going to be that one. Now, if you want to know other ones because you think you won't like Neroli Portofino, which is just like a beautiful, fresh, open air scent with citrus and neroli, you can always search Neroli Portofino on Fragrantica, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and it'll say, this fragrance reminds me of, and then there will be a giant list of fragrances people say that Neroli Portofino reminds them of, which will also typically be neroli-based fragrances or just same vibe type of fragrances. And next to each of those fragrances, a voting system. So it'll say like thumbs up and thumbs down on how accurate people's reminder fragrances are to neroli. So you can look through that list and see the highest upvoted fragrances to see what stuff like Neroli Portofino you would get. But honestly, I think you should smell Neroli Portofino first in a Sephora or an Ulta Beauty, and then see if it would be your cup of tea. There's alternative fragrances with neroli in it for sure, but I just think that's a good entry-level beginner upscale neroli fragrance that most people buy if they're looking for that kind of fragrance. Also listen to Joel, because Joel is European and he has access to some other stuff you probably haven't heard of. Elysium by Roja, very good fragrance. Blessings, bro. Have you tried Lalique Ombre Noir? Of course I have. I just showed it. What's up from Alaska? I am flying through chat. I'm trying to catch up. Favorite MFK? I don't currently have a fragrance from MFK that I put above other MFK fragrances in my mind, but fragrances I gravitate to is Oud Silk Mood, Gentle Fluidity, Grand Soir, Amorous Extrait, Aqua Media, Aqua Universales. Oud Satin Mood I really appreciate, but it's a bit heavy for my speed. It's not the kind of rose I like. I love smelling Oud Satin Mood on a woman. I don't, and I have the Ministry of Oud version, and I have the original in a decant. I just have this because I study fragrance, and it's a DNA I feel like you have to have in your collection just to admire what rose and oud can do. But I have a lot of rose oud fragrances, and the highest score I've ever given a rose oud fragrance is a 9. That might change soon as you guys will see the reviews dropping, because I do think I've found a 10 out of 10 rose oud fragrance. I'm not going to mention it now, but just keep your eyes peeled for that review when it comes out. But I'm very picky about my rose ouds in terms of presentation, complexity, and masculinity, which is hard to achieve with rose and oud. But it's not a fragrance I would buy. I do not need a bottle of Oud Satin Mood. I prefer Oud Silk Mood. And I still give Oud Silk Mood like a 9, but most people don't like Oud Silk Mood. It's too brash of an oud. But I make it work. It really gets me a lot of feedback. So yeah, Oud Silk Mood, Grand Soir, Amorous Extrait, Aqua Universales, Aqua Media. Am I missing anything? There's other ones that are good, but I'm just giving you ones that I have. OG Invictus or Invictus Platinum. They're on the same level as me. They smell different slightly, but same level of utility. I don't care if you have Invictus Aqua, Invictus Platinum. OG Invictus is a little bit simplified, so I'd probably go Platinum, but not by much. Kingsgate and Sensual Obsession are the best for sure. I wouldn't argue against that. 1 minute beatbox, please. No, I'm not going to beatbox tonight. My kids are asleep. But I did drop a short tonight that was the beatbox I did on the last live stream. So if you want to see a recap of that beatbox, just look at my shorts. Top 3 non-clone good quality houses exclude Lalique and Issey Miyake. Well, dude, you're basically putting handcuffs on me and tying my hands behind my back. You know I absolutely love Lalique and Issey Miyake, and what does that leave me with? It leaves me with Bentley and designer. I mean, non-clone good quality houses. I mean, there's so many, dude. You just said houses. You didn't say like designer or niche or whatever. So I mean, in the designer realm, you still have Bentley. Mercedes makes some killer fragrances. Man, it gets limited down there, doesn't it? I mean, then we can just talk about everything in Neiman Marcus. They all make some good bangers. Tom Ford, Bond Number 9, Byredo, Initio, Frederick Mall, Xerjoff, Amouage, Mind Games, Creed, Chanel, Chanel Exclusive. You can go Chanel on the designer level. Dior makes great fragrances. Givenchy makes great fragrances. I mean, you can literally, there's so many. What up, Kicks? Good to see you, bro. Good episode tonight, man. That collab was fire. What's the name of this again? I don't know what you're talking about, Robin. I wish I could answer that for you. You got to get a little bit more specific. My go-to fragrances are Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, Azzaro Chrome, and Acqua di Gio. Okay, Tony. You know, if I had to narrow it down, I would go with Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever or Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue O Intense. I just think you get more performance and they're juicier. Azzaro Chrome, I think, is a bit dated for 2025, but if you're into your metallics, I think a good step up from that would be Mahir Legacy Silver, which is like a 9 out of 10 clone of Sedley. No, it is Sedley. What's the best Antonio Banderas fragrance to get? I don't know. There's a lot of decent ones, but I just wouldn't pay retail for it. I just bought Happy from Clinique for my mom. Well, if she's into light, mass appealing fragrances, she'll like Clinique. Have you ever tried Invictus Intense? If so, please give me your thoughts and opinion on how you'd rate it in a mass appealing, etc. I mean, it's mass appealing, but you know, I give it an average score. I give it a 7, to be honest. I adore Tommy Girl. No, Tommy is slept on, but I mean, it should be slept on in 2025, but it's still a classic. I got Cough recently. It's amazing. Yeah, BT Sense wears Cough and gets a lot of good feedback at work from it. Yeah, I'll always say something pause-worthy in here. Blue de Chanel's good as well. Yo, glad to see you on live again, my dude. Let's say I want to ball out a little, which I normally don't. If I want to spend $200 and give off a sexy, sweet vibe, what should I get? Nishane Ani would be very safe. Amorous Extrait from MFK. I'm giving you unisex, slight masculine leaning fragrances. $200. Parfums de Marly Wajan. 200's hard to work with, man. Jardin Exclusive from Mancera, Pearl from Mancera. Day 3, Bonnie. You have a lot of choices though. That's the thing. Any of those I just named you are fire. Ambar Dominicano from Day 3 is also fire. Casamarati Mephisto and the whole line, your views. I mean, the whole line of Casamarati is good quality. I lean towards Mephisto and Gentle Uomo's version of Mephisto. I have Lyra, you know. Lyra is right there. I think Lyra's cool. Then they have some like more floral ones and stuff like that. Really, nothing's blind buy worthy except for Mephisto to me. Mephisto is the best blue fragrance I've ever smelled so far. And I just recently got Talisman. You know, Talisman's another cool blue, but Mephisto honestly takes a crap on Talisman. Talisman is really good though. That's saying a lot. Talisman is a Titan blue fragrance in the community. So I speak very highly of Mephisto because it's just so unique. It's like being on Mount Everest with a glass of blue Kool-Aid, chewing on mint. Yeah, that's exactly it. Standing on Mount Everest during the blizzard cold, chewing on mint, and holding a glass of blue Kool-Aid. That's what Mephisto smells like. Most colognes smell mixed with no suggestions to that, Chris. Take a shower. Any affordable summer mint scents you would recommend? Mephisto. Easily. Mephisto. Thoughts on Liquid Brune? It's not really my speed, but it is one of the most sold clones of 2024. And it's like 90% close to Altair, if that's what you're interested in. What's up, Scent Bubble? Oh, what up, James? Hawas Ice. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Speaking of which, I need to take a shower. Good grief. What do you think of Nautica Voyage? Classic, but not necessary in 2024 or 2025. But if you are broke, start there. I like Jeremy Fragrance's video. Now I'm here. Good. Welcome. What's the best Club de Nuit between the EDT, EDP, and Parfum? Neither. Pre-show 1. It keeps growing on me. It's a summer fragrance and it lasts a long time, gets compliments. Yeah, I can see why. I can see why, James. Do you think Club de Nuit is a good Creed Aventus clone? Best Creed Aventus right now is Pre-show 1 or the Pure Parfum from Club de Nuit, but there's not a bad Aventus. It's just which one you prefer. I have so many Aventus clone reviews on my channel. Please go watch them before you decide. The current 2 best Aventus style DNAs is Off Not Supremacy Collector's Edition, which I don't recommend you getting before you smell it because it's heavy on oak moss and it's a much different style pineapple than the actual Aventus. But Pre-show 1 will get you everything you want and more. High compliment factor, projection, longevity. Yeah, you only get 55 ml, but you only need 2 sprays of it to last all day. Neroli Portofino smells amazing. My wife loves it, and I love it too. It doesn't last long, but they all can't. Honestly, no citrus fragrance lasts forever from Tom Ford. What would be the best scent for strength to incite fear into my enemies? Fear would be Royal Oud from Creed. If you stand next to somebody with that fragrance on, they will be intimidated by you. Have you ever tried Dunhill Sentry? I have not, Patriot. What's up, Brittany? What's the best aquatic fragrance and longest lasting? Aquatic style, I would go Mephisto. But there's a lot. There's a lot of aquatic bangers. There really is a lot. But I would say Mephisto. It's not very much aquatic, but it's more icy, but close enough. Bulgari has an inexpensive Neroli fragrance like Neroli Woods. It's okay, leans feminine. Yeah, it does. I agree. Oud Maracuja is decent. Also been thinking about pulling the trigger on Armani Code Parfum, the new one. What's your thoughts on it? I'm an Armani Code Absolute kind of guy, and there's a clone out called Harmony Code, I think from Fragrance World, which is French Avenue. get that. I think it's like 30 bucks and it's like 90% Armani Code Absolute. It smells amazing. BT Sense talks about it a lot. I would get that instead of paying retail for Armani Code, to be honest, even if it's the new parfum. Scent Bubble has La Leaks on lock. Yeah, shout outs to freaking Kicks. We went half on the flanker to one of my favorite fragrances of all time, La Leaks Lin Su Mi. We went half on the flanker, Lin Su Mi. I forget the name of it. It's a frosted bottle. So we'll be reviewing that soon. I'm really excited. After that, the only fragrance I won't have from the line is Indigo, which I believe is a blue fragrance, if I remember correctly. I haven't smelled it in years. So I will pick up that bottle, and then I will own every La Leak, which I'm actually excited about because there's not a single La Leak I don't like, minus the Encre Noir series. I see that Off Non Collector's Edition banger. I agree. Recommend a parfum summer, or perfume for summer. If you're in Indonesia, you would love this. I think culturally you would love it. You would love the performance of it. Mancera Vetiver Sensual. You can snag this up off of discounters right now for, I think it retails over 150. You can get 120 ml, so extra large bottle. I think I got Vetiver Sensual for 70 or 80 bucks. So that's incredible because this is top 2 best vetivers of all time to me, and I'm a vetiver lover. Bright, radiant lime, orange, grapefruit, citrus. So smooth. It's got a grassiness like a Oolong Cha, so like a lemony lemongrass, but it's very radiant, ambery, grapefruit, lime driven type of fragrance. So smooth, masculine, but happy and bright. So playful. It's a fragrance you just put on every day and it just makes you feel optimistic about life. It makes you feel like everything's going to be okay. You just keep wearing this fragrance and you're going to be successful. You're going to have positivity on your mind. You're going to feel masculine. You're going to feel joyful. You're going to feel therapeutic. You're going to feel like a sense of peace. It just connects you. This fragrance is like laying in the grass with the sun out, and the sun is just beaming on you, and you have a bowl of grapefruit, lime, and lemon, and you're just eating slices of citrus while you're laying on your back in the grass, and the sun is just beating on you, and it's radiating on your face. And it's sunshine in a bottle. But that picture I just painted is exactly what this smells like. And I think it's a fragrance where at first you don't know what you're looking for when you smell it. You don't know how to understand it. But then when you wear it and you go outside and you feel the way it makes you feel, you have to have it. If you don't have this, you have to have Moncler's La Corday. If you don't have that, you need to have Oolong Cha or Oolong Cha X. You have to have some type of bright, radiant, ambery, sunshiny citrus on masculine base as a man in your collection because it's soothing, it brings peace, it's earthy, connects you to your inner child, but it's also invigorating and makes you look forward with a positive attitude in life. And it's just one of the highest niche renditions of citrus I've come across. My brother-in-law has Ministry of Oud Royal, and it smells like no joke amazing. It doesn't smell like Royal Oud to me, but it smells great and it's unique. Yeah, 100%. I have Royal Oud. Shout outs to Kix. He hooked it up big time. So I do have it. But then I also have Oud Royal. I got it for a trade when I went to LA. It does not smell like Royal Oud. I would call this 80%, which is probably the lowest score out there. But who cares? It does smell amazing. It smells fresh. It smells masculine. It's open. It's airy. But it's got all the masculine fougere touches in a modern way. I actually combo this with Equus. A radiant amber grapefruit and vetiver with this fragrance, these go very well. So a lot of times you lack performance here, but if you put these together, you can typically squeeze 6 to 7 hours of really good performance. And putting the amber backbone on top of this fragrance really makes it go crazy. It's a combo I've recently added to my ebook that will be coming out later this year on best combos with fragrances. And yeah, I think Oud Royal is a very good fragrance standalone, but if you want it to be ramped up, put Equus with it and it will radiate. Sahib Intense, still best imagination clone, 100%. 100%. Where is your most expensive bottle? I've already mentioned this earlier. One of these. Or this one. You can look them up. I don't like to talk money. You know, I really don't care. You know, thankfully, I'm blessed in such a way where I don't have to think through that too much in my fragrance journey. But I don't like talking about money. I will tell you how much something costs, but I don't see labels and money. I see juice. That's all I care about. I'm not happy to tell somebody I spent X amount of money on a fragrance. It really means nothing to me. That's why when I started my journey, I started with designers and clones so I can talk to most of the world because they need affordability and that's really important to people. And so I wanted to connect with the people on that level and really appreciate the fact that there's a lot of incredible niche smelling fragrances out there that are under $30, under $50. And so, like, honestly, most of this top section, which is the most expensive part of my collection, there's several thousands of dollars of fragrances right here. I haven't reviewed almost any of this top section on my channel. And I'm just not ready to do it yet for you guys because I know a lot of people don't have a lot of niche fragrances. What do you do for a living? A lot. If I told you what I actually do for money, you wouldn't believe me. What do you think of Baccarat Rouge? Feminine leaning unisex fragrance. I prefer it on a woman than a man. How do you feel about Dumont? Average. They're very average to me, James. They just don't speak to me. They don't speak to me. I've only tried Nitro Red, Nitro Black, and Nitro White. They're good fragrances. They just, in my journey right now, they don't speak to me. What do you think about Versace Flame? I'm not a fan. I know that it does wonders for people. I have a lot of friends from 20-year-olds up to 50-year-olds that love Flame. You know, in their mind, they give it like an 8 or a 9. It does a lot for them. In my journey, Flame is a bit boring. There's other fragrances I use in place of Flame that get me more feedback. But that's just my taste. I'm not a big Versace Flame guy. I'll always go with original Blue Eros any day of the week. Hey, I'm new to your live. What are you talking about? That stuff. I've got most of all the designer bottles, but I've got bored of designer frags. Is there anything crazy you would recommend that maybe start liking designers again? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Lin Sumi from Lalique. Oh, shoot. Lalique White. Ombre Noir from Lalique. Ferragamo Bright Leather, Ferragamo Red Leather, Ferragamo Spicy Leather. Oh, Halloween Man Shot. Gucci Guilty Elixir. If you don't have that, you have to have that. It's probably the best release of 2024. Lin Sumi is sold out. Where else can I get it? You can only get it at Max Aroma, Joma Shop, or Fragrance by CA. And I told you guys, If Lin Sue Mi or Ombre Noir come out, you have 3 to 5 days to get it. Don't try to search it. It's going to be sold out. Go to the site, turn your notifications on, and pay attention to your emails, because when it comes out, you have a very small window to snag it up. Most people buy like 3 to 5 bottles of it every time it comes out because they know it's going to be sold out and they can resell it for way more money. I mean, guys, you need to remember, Ombre Noir and Lin Sue Mi retail for like $200 a piece. Just because you guys are seeing them at $40 and $50, on the actual website, they sell for a lot of money. So, and they're very popular. They're more popular than people realize. So you need to have your notifications on. You're not just going to slide around and pick up some Lin Sue Mi or some freaking Ombre Noir. It's not going to happen. I ordered Club de Nuit Iconic. How's the smell and performance? It smells 1-to-1 to Blue de Chanel, and the performance is about 8 to 10 hours depending on your hygiene, skin, and how much the Lord wants to bless you. Okay, hopefully I'm getting to the bottom of chat here. No, sorry, boy, I've never heard of that. What's up, Fortnite? Best fragrance for a garbage man. Fat Electrician from a Tatlib d'Orange. Or probably Lalique White if you want to know a serious answer. Are you talking about Xerjoff Casamarati Mephisto? Yes. I'm very much broke. That's okay, Alana. That's okay. You will still find value hanging out here. The scent bubble doesn't do shout-outs. You heard him. What is your spray routine? Does it depend on the fragrance, or do you have a set number of sprays? I never have a set number of sprays, ever. I just put on the fragrance and I see how long it lasts. Spray it on your arm, see how long it lasts. If you need a fragrance to last longer, put on an unscented lotion or a scented lotion that complements it. Good case in point, Isola Sol from Roja. I might get 3-4 hours of solid performance out of this, but if I really want to give it push, I'm going to use this. Look at that. Everyday coconut. It's like a 3-ingredient lotion, right? It's basically just pure coconut. And I put the coconut lotion on. It's light. It's not synthetic. It's very small ingredient, so it's ethically good for your skin and all that. And then I put, it's coconut scented. And then you put the Isola Sol on it. It pops the projection like absolute insanity, and it gives me closer to 6 hours of solid performance. Most of the time, if I just need to carry a fragrance, then I'll use this. It's unscented. Let me turn this around. Everyday Shea. It's like a 3-ingredient shea butter, right? You can get a giant tub of this for like 10, 15 bucks. What I love about it is there's not a bunch of bull crap in this. This is just the natural oils from unrefined shea butter, and it's unscented. You put this on, then you put the fragrance on, it might give you an extra 2 hours, sometimes 3, 4. Or you can use Molecule 1, eccentric molecules. You can use like a 90 Pure White or a Coach or a CK Everyone or a Molecule 1 or ISO-E Super. Fragrance houses now are starting to sell ISO-E Super as a spray. You spray that as your base and you put the fragrance on top of it. There's a lot of ways to spray to get a fragrance to carry. But number one, you got to shower and then you got to moisturize. What about YSL? Best to worst YSL, YSL L'Homme, La Nuit de l'Homme, Blue Electrique, Tuxedo, a tie between Baby Cat and Y, and then myself. Best to worst. Do you have Versace? I have Eros. That's it. I think if you have Eros, you have everything. You could get a large bottle of Eros today for $35, which is incredible. Everything else costs too much and not worth it to me. Mega Mare is probably the strongest aquatic ever. It is, truthfully. And the clone of it sucks. What frag would you wear to a poker game? Probably Ombre Noir. Probably Ombre Noir. This would be the sexiest fragrance I could wear to a poker game. If I wanted to wear like a drop dead serious fragrance to a poker game, Probably Jimmy Choo Man Intense. Yeah. Yeah. This is don't play with me business big boy type of fragrance. You know, it's the most modern fougere style with a lot of beauty to it. It's peppery, you know, it's peppery, it's classy. It has sweetness from honeydew melon, cantaloupe. So that cantaloupe in it kind of, if there was no cantaloupe in here, you would think I'm walking around, you know, with a weapon on me, you know. But it's dressed up, peppery, masculine. Seems the age range on a fragrance like this is like 30 to 50. But if I was at a poker game and I didn't want anybody to play games with me, I'm here for business. When I leave here, I'm going to go have my chauffeur pull up in the Aston Martin to give me my keys, and I'm going to get out of there and walk away with a few $1 million off the table for the night, and I've got VIP access to whatever you know, casino I want to play in. You know, surprisingly, this designer feels like that. Now, if I'm going to go crazy with it, I might go into some Tom Ford or dress it up a bit. Creed Royal Oud, you know, Aventus Absolute, Tom Ford Noir Extreme, Tom Ford Original Noir, you know, Grey Vetiver Parfum, Oud for Greatness would go well. It's a very Great Gatsby type of fragrance. Any of those would rock out pretty heavy. If you want to go the more resinous route, you can go Encre Noir à l'Extrême. You can go anything from Javoy that's on the incensey side. Yeah, I have a lot of killers for that. Yeah, I got mojito vibes on the dry down of Vetiver Sensual. If you want the most mojito fragrance out there, it's going to be Mahir Legacy Silver. I'm not going to pull out the bottle because it's really wonky, but it's the one that has this silver head on it. This is the most, oh, I almost flicked you guys off. This is a mojito in a bottle. Lime mojito on metallics with rainwater and mint. Mahir Legacy Silver, 25, 30 bucks. Insane 8 to 10 hour performance. That is a mojito in a bottle. What's a really good office scent you would recommend? Okay, so best office fragrances in my collection to me, and these are the only fragrances I've done memoirs of a fragrance on, is Tom Ford Grey Vetiver EDP, no question. This fragrance makes me so happy. Oh, I almost just dropped it. That's an incredible office fragrance. Roja Parfums Danger. Spicy, ambery, oriental, woody fragrance. Absolute killer in the office. If you need affordability, this is ties for #1 best office fragrance to me. Lalique Lin Sumi. This ties with Tom Ford Grey Vetiver to me, but it's two different styles. This one is more greens and outdoorsy, pine, sap, clean, soapy, fresh. Tom Ford is more grapefruit soap and gray tux. Lalique White, $25, probably the best $25 office fragrance / everyday upscale casual wear of all time. If you're a man and you don't have this scent, shame on you. This will beat anything from Ferragamo, anything from Mont Blanc, anything from Versace, anything from Dior in the fresh category, masculine fresh. This has everything. It's got the linen, it's got the soap, it's got the green, it's got the grass, it's got the citrus, it's got the spice. Everything you want as a man in this bottle. And it's super fresh, super unique. No one will smell like you. I promise, guys. For $25, nobody will smell like you. It doesn't smell synthetic. It's very natural. It's so invigorating. It's got this lift to it. You could put this in a Tom Ford bottle next to Grey Vetiver. You could put this in the same bottle as Grey Vetiver. Just switch it, make this all chrome with the frosted lettering or whatever, and you wouldn't know the cost difference in terms of quality. It is criminal that this is $25. This should be sold out quicker than Linsumi and Ombre Noir. Probably the best everyday fragrance as a man you could own in that price point. I'm interested in that Vetiver Sensual. Would you say it's blind buy safe? If you are 25, if you are 25, sorry, if you are 30 and down, you have to be an older soul. Like you have to be somebody who's 20 going on 30, 25 going on 35. You got to be a young guy with an old soul to love Vetiver Sensual. But if you're 30 and up, blind buy. If you're 30 and down, if you're 30 and down, put your nose on it first because it's in my top 3 vetivers of all time. If you want something like it that feels a little bit more youthful, then go with Under the Lemon Trees by Maison Margiela. And that'll probably be the only time you ever hear the words Maison Margiela or Replica on a live of mine, because I am not a fan of that entire line. But Under the Lemon Trees smells exactly like Vetiver Sensual, just a little bit more youthful. So, but I think everybody and their mom should own Vetiver Sensual. But it is somewhat grassy as much as it is bright, vibrant, juicy citruses. So it is a manly citrus fragrance, but anyone who's bought it from my channel loves it. But if you're a young guy, unless you have your bills paid, you might not be ready for that fragrance. You might need to just stay with like Elysium or something like that, which is more unisex. Okay, I'm definitely going to check it out. Excellent. Are you familiar with 1969? No. Have you ever tried Dear Polly? Yes. Dear Polly's cool, but the performance is trash. And I also think Wulong Cha and Montclair La Corday and stuff like that is just better than Dear Polly. Hey, brother, what's your opinion about Nishane Hasavat? Amazing. But it's got such a heavy, earthy oak moss in it that, to me, you have to be a boss to wear it, unfortunately. Like even if you're like a young guy with an old soul, I still wouldn't tell you to buy it because you have to have money to wear that fragrance. That fragrance smells like money. You know, if you work in corporate, you're the executive. You're the guy with the corner office overlooking the city type of fragrance. If you wear that fragrance and you pull up in a Honda Accord, you'll get laughed at. You know, you can't look middle class wearing Nishane Hasavat. You just can't. It looks so out of place. So be cautious if you wear that fragrance because you really have to look like you're the boss of something. Thoughts on ISOE Super? Not necessary. Bleu de Chanel is good. Great fragrance booster. Ambroxan also. Okay, come to Guam. You can have all of it. Okay. Appreciate the reply, but this live is pre-recorded. No, it's not. It's just my lives are full of people who really genuinely have questions, and it takes me a long time to get through them because I don't skip any questions. I give everybody as thoughtful of an answer as I possibly can, and because of that, the chat fills up, which is ironically why people come, and they're okay waiting because they get their value when I do get to the question, and I don't leave anybody behind. Hey, Scent Bubble, thoughts on Tabarome Millesime from Creed? I would just go for straight Millesime Imperial as opposed to Tabarome because it's different and it's a lot more niche, challenging fragrance compared to the newest iteration of Millesime. But honestly, I would go with just Club de Nuit Milestone. I know you're not going to like that answer, but I'm sorry. Insurrection, haven't smelled it. Armaf Club de Nuit Milestone, yeah, I just said that. Al Harmain Aqua Dubai is worth the hype. Yeah, it is, but it's not the best imagination to me. Aqua Dubai, you won't be upset. You'll love it. Full House from Joe Milano, you'll love it. You won't be upset. But if you want the best, this is the best. This beats all of them, guys. I hate saying it over and over because all of you regulars on my channel just know what it is. I just will shout this to the moon. Ard al Zafran Sahib Intense. Listen, I know it looks ridiculous. I know you only get 60 ml of juice or 75, something like that. but I don't care. It is the best performing and it is the most accurate imagination. Everybody always asks me, and so I carry the Imagination Travel Spray. Shout outs Esteban for hooking that up. And I normally will spray a test strip right in front of you guys of Imagination and spray this one and tell you guys over and over, this is the best Imagination. But at the end of the day, I'm running out of juice just to show you guys that I have the real Imagination. Get Sahib Intense. It's another fragrance that sells out. That's why you don't hear about it, because people don't want to buy a bottle that looks like it has a giant wine cork on it and looks really Middle Eastern. But if you want to smell like Imagination and you want to smell like you spent the $400 for the fragrance, this is the one you get. Aqua Dubai is very nice. Full House is very nice. Intimation is very nice. But they don't touch this. I promise you guys. I don't care how many people... I don't care how many people drop videos on Full House and Aqua Dubai about how many compliments they get and how good they feel wearing it. If you're asking me what's the best fragrance, it's Sahib Intense. Longest lasting freshie, probably... Off Non-Supremacy in Heaven, Silver Mountain Water. That is probably 10, 12 hours of performance. What frag would you wear if you were going on a safari ride? Vetiver Sensual. What's good, Gems? What's poppin'? Hey, I see you lighting yourself up on those lives, bro. Keep it popping, bro. Big fan. I don't wear any cologne. Probably a good thing. Do you like Born in Roma? It's cute. Born in Roma is cute. You know, if you're 25 and down and you're crushing on a girl, you know, it'll work. It'll work. If you start to get older or you want to press in a little more aggressive on your girl, you know, and you're in the designer realm, you know, get your Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé on, get your Valentino Uomo on, get your Dior on, you know what I'm saying? But Valentino Uomo is a 50-50 play on kind of classy, aquatic, fresh, and floral, seductive, romantic. But when I'm wearing a romantic fragrance, I'm all in on the romance. I don't like to play around. I don't play with, oh, slightly this or slightly that. No, if I'm going to wear a sweet fragrance, I'm not trying to like offset it and make it half as sweet as it's supposed to be. It's like Wajan, Psychedelic Love, Dior Homme Intense, Gentleman Reserve Privé. I mean, that's just the super sweet fragrances. Noir Extreme. If I'm going there. Now, my balance of sweetness at the niche level is typically like 4 out of 10 sweet. I like to lead in masculine, soft touch sweet. But a lot of the younger guys and more the bachelor guys who don't got wives and don't got girlfriends typically lead in the heavier sweetness. So, you know, but my go-tos for like that romance is Psychedelic Love, Straight to Heaven, Leia Leone from Chanel, Tres Oros, Lyra, Herba Gold, Bulgari Man in Black, Halloween Man Shot, Lamal Elixir, you know, Aventus Absolute. Like I'm coming in heavy. Leighton, but I don't really rock Leighton. I rock Lalique White. That's more my speed. Yeah. Okay, let's catch up. What about Polo? I'm not a big fan of Polo at all, but if you're gonna get any Polos, get the Parfums. What do you think What do you think about Prada Luna Rosa Black or Prada Black? Is it worth getting? It smells amazing. Performance is terrible. If you like Prada Black, skip it and get you Bulgari Man in Black. You'll get all the performance in the world, and it's the same scent. Slightly bit more complex than Prada Black, but I always tell people the performance is absolutely atrocious with Prada Black. So if you want that black tux, patchouli, sweet spice vibe, go to Bulgari Man in Black. A little bit more complex, way more performance out of it. And you can get it as a tester or on discounters for under $100. So that's just a steal for a Bulgari fragrance. Have you Have you had any fragrances from Yam and Lail? Yes, if you go to, if you type Yam and Lail on my videos page, I think I rated 10 fragrances from Yam and Lail that a subscriber sent me. And so you can see some really popular ones on there. Yam and Lail's very 50-50 though. It's hit or miss. You got to really get their discovery sets. And, you know, if I were you and you wanted to test out Yam and Lail, because really their savings is getting a full bottle at the $40 to $70 price point for 100 mil. It's a good price. You need to have a friend and you both need to get discovery sets and then trade them. So you guys each use yours, try them, write down what you like, and then send them to each other. Don't get caught in getting a bunch of decants and dang near buying out the fragrance. How does Imagination smell? It smells good. It smells like somewhat aquatic, exotic fruits and citrus. It's a very playful scent, man. It's something I would wear like by water, you know, on a yacht, on a beach, at a hotel. It's just a very playful, expensive citrus scent. I prefer Afternoon Swim, but I honestly don't prefer any LV, to be honest. I actually gave away all my LV. Do you have a cognac? Do you have cognac haze? I don't. What's the yellow bottle? Herba Gold from Xerjoff. I prefer it over Herba Pura. Thoughts on Givenchy Irresistible Velvet Rose? I haven't put my nose to that yet. EDT versus EDP at the office on the street. I don't have a general rule of thumb. Each fragrance is different because if you have Eros EDT, you'll get 10 hours of performance. That's uncharacteristic of a lot of EDTs. Generally, you don't get as much performance from an EDT because if it's following the rules, when you go from eau de cologne to eau de toilette to eau de parfum to extrait, and all those other bullcrap filler words, absolute, elixir, extreme, intenso, whatever, you should be increasing the oil concentration. But some fragrance houses will stay true to just upping the concentration, but some fragrances will add an extra note, subtract an extra note, change the DNA entirely, and that's where it gets confusing. So in that case, and it also depends on the notes. Some notes just naturally last longer. So there's never a general rule of thumb on whether or not to buy an EDT or a eau de parfum strictly based off of a performance standpoint. It's different for each fragrance individually. What's your favorite Creed fragrance? It's a great question. I like Absolute Ventus. I like Millésime Imperial. I like Royal Oud. I like Bois de Portugal. Backup dancer fragrances from Creed for me is going to be the Silver Mountain Water, the Green Irish Tweed, the Virgin Island Water. Yeah, maybe Royal Mayfair. Those are all background dancers to the other ones I named. But I'm really going on strike against Creed because every year the juice gets weaker, the price gets higher, and they can really kiss my butt at this point. I almost need to hide that fragrance right there because you shouldn't even buy it. I'm from Argentina. English is bad. What fragrance is the best for teenagers? Argentina, que onda, wey? Best fragrance, magnífico, excelente, muy fácil. 10 de 10. Versace Eros Eau de Toilette. Muy bueno. Pequito dólares. Muy bueno. What should be my first Initio and Mancera introduction to those houses? First Initio, depends what you want. I would say Musk Therapy if I were you. But that might not be your first. I would go Psychedelic Love, or if you're comfortable with a masculine white floral take that's unisex but masculine enough for me, Musk Therapy. So Psychedelic Love or Musk Therapy for Initio. Oud for Greatness is good, but you can get that for $25 today, so forget it. Mancera depends on how old you are. If you're under 30 years old, start with Anything like Pearl, Jardin Exclusive, Instant Crush, French Riviera, Lemon Oud Mint, Aqua Win. If you're 30 and up, go Vetiver Sensual. Yeah. What is the fragrance for the bottles to the left of the yellow one, Xerjoff top rack? Casa Marati Lyra, Casa Marati Mephisto. What is the 4 bottles to the left of the yellow? Oh. Imaginary Authors, Slow Explosions. Saffron, Rose Absolute, Leather, Apple, Benzoin, Cashmerean. Smells like oud wood soaked in red wine and red sangria. Sounds crazy, I know. What's the best suggestions for fresh summer fragrances? Oh, tons of them, man. Lalique White, Lin Sumi, Lalique Equus, Bentley for Men Black Edition, Bentley Momentum Unlimited, Bentley Infinite Rush, Bentley Azure, Gucci Guilty Elixir, Mont Blanc Presence, Arctic Slate from Banana Republic, 90 Pure White, Coach Everyone, CK Everyone, Coach Open Road, Amir Sidra Essence, Sahib Intense, Club de Nuit Iconic, Club de Nuit Milestone, Armoff Supremacy in Heaven, FOMO Fragheads Asylum, Mahir Legacy Silver. I mean, there's literally infinite possibility. Valencia Uomo Intense, all those go crazy in the summer. Do you have any Michael Malal? I do. I've got like 6 of them. I have not got into Penhaligon's yet, and I refuse to go into Penhaligon until I buy the actual Discovery set because I want to smell all of them at once. Penhaligon's is coming soon, though. I've got it queued up in my cart. I'll probably have it in the next 3-4 weeks. What's the best one out of what? Thoughts on Acqua di Gio Absolute? It's my favorite fragrance of all time. I prefer Profumo and Profondo. If you want the most freshest, versatile, you go Profondo. If you want the best smelling one, you go Profumo. And if you want something in between the two, which doesn't make any sense to me, then you would go Parfum or Elixir. You can't lose with an Acqua di Gio fragrance. They all smell the same, but just with different nuances. I know this sounds corny, but are there any fragrances that make women hypnotize with you? Yeah. Makes total sense. Fragrances that would get me a lot of play. Psychedelic Love from Initio. Taif Oud from Roja. Danger from Roja. Trace Oros from Day 3. Diptyque's Tempo. Le Leon or Coro Mandel from Chanel. Straight to Heaven from By Kilian. Black Phantom from By Kilian. Casa Marati Lyra, easily. Bulgari Man in Black. Halloween Man Shot. Lamal Elixir. Lalique White and Black. Gucci Guilty Elixir. Honestly, it's less romantic, but it's got romance. La Nuit de l'Homme, Blue Electrique, L'Homme Original from YSL. They all get crazy play. L'Homme Ideal Extreme. Dior Homme Intense. Dior Homme Parfum 2025. I could just go on forever. I love Sedley from Parfums de Mar. Oh, have you tried Brioni? Yes, I've tried all of them. They're okay. A lot of them lack in performance except for their darker ones, but I have replacements for those. I love Sedley from PDM. Yeah, French Riviera is not anything close to Sedley. Mahir Legacy Silver is a 9 to 9.5 out of 10 clone of Sedley, and it outperforms Sedley. Spicy Leather Ferragamo. Okay. Thoughts on Lattafa Ragba Intense? I haven't smelled it yet. What's the best and most affordable fragrance? Anything from Lalique, anything from Bentley. Viva la Mexico! Versace Eros EDT. Yes. $35, 100 ml. Which is the best leather? Bright leather from Ferragamo. You can get it for $35. Bright citrus on blonde leather. You barely smell the leather. You feel very happy. Good fragrance. Any good Bulgari Man in Black clones? Yes. Well, no. The closest you can get to that DNA affordably is Fragrance World's Zara Man, Z-A-R-A Man. You can only get it on tripletraders.com, but it's $35, 100 ml. It's a 1-to-1 clone of Black Orchid, but a little bit fresher. And that's the closest you're going to get to Man in Black. That fragrance smells amazing, but it's not Man in Black. It's Tom Ford Black Orchid, just a little bit fresher. But Black Orchid and Man in Black are close. I always tell people Man in Black is Black Orchid without orchid. So you get the patchouli, you get the cacao, you know, just trust me. Zara Man, you'll love it. Prada Black's the only downgrade from Bulgari, but the performance is absolute trash. What's your thoughts on, by the way, guys, we got to go soon. I'm going to fly through these questions. What's your thoughts on Portraits of Portofino? I haven't smelled that yet, Manuel. I'm sorry. What was the Imagination clone with the white cap? Run the video back. Just rewind it. Sahib Intense. There's 2 versions of Sahib Intense, so make sure you rewind the video back to see it. Do you have Ocean Noir? I do not. Oh, I got to the bottom. We made it to the bottom, guys. It only took 96 minutes. Now you guys know why it's so hard to get to the bottom of the chat. The moment the stream starts, I get flooded with questions, and 96 minutes later, I get to the bottom of chat. No, I am not AI. I am not a bot. I am thinking of getting a Jean Low Immortelle and 9 PM Rebel for my collection. What's your thoughts, or should I rethink? Jean Low Immortelle is a very good, or Immortal is a very good L'Immensité clone. It really is. If you like L'Immensité, then get it because it's accurate. But if you haven't smelled L'Immensité ever, you really should, because it's one of the more bitter, tart, citrus fragrances out of the entire LV line. You really should make sure that you love that DNA. Don't just get it because of the word L'Immensité and it looks popular. But I just gave my Immortal Jean Low to Kix, and he absolutely loves it. So it is a good fragrance to get. 9 PM Rebel is okay. I'm just not a big fan. There's so many other better clones than Rebel is. Hernandez, thanks so much. Don't sleep on that Ocean Noir. Okay. How is Hawassi Elixir longevity? I can't tell you. I always only recommend Hawas Ice. I think every other Hawas is clonable. Sorry. Or not clonable, but cloned. Okay, guys. Hey, I'm going to take a quick piss and get some water. You guys have 60 seconds to type any of your last minute questions. I'll answer them, and then we're going to sign off. I'll let you guys look at my collection while I go take a piss. I'll be quick, I promise. I'll be right back, boys. Oh, okay, let's flip this around. Why is there still 25 people in here? Okay. All right, Virgin Island Water or Percival, what's better? 2 completely different fragrances. They're both great. Virgin Island Water has very bad performance. So I wouldn't recommend getting it because you spend a lot of money and you don't get a lot of performance. That might make you upset. Percival has great performance and it's a good fragrance. A ranking designer niche houses video would be a dope idea. I'll go ahead and screenshot that, and I will put that in video rotation for you. Okay, guys, here's the thing. Let me just say this real quick. I really appreciate everybody for watching. Oh, I gotta sit in my massage chair. Really appreciate everybody for watching. I know it sucks sometimes when you come in and you ask a question and it might take me 10-15 minutes to get down the chat. It looks like it's pre-recorded or something like that. It's never pre-recorded. You guys know that. Anyone who comes in here and says my lives are pre-recorded is brand new. They just don't watch the channel. But I really appreciate all you guys for stopping by and participating. If you guys didn't ask questions, I would not be live because I literally turn my camera on and I answer questions till I get to the bottom of the list. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're into fragrance content, clone, dupe, inspired, designer, niche, independent niche, and everything in between, I cover everything. I drop a new review every single day. Ever since I started my YouTube journey like a year ago, I've posted at least one review every single day. I have over 730 uploads in less than 365 days, which means I've posted over double the amount every single day. So if you're into fragrance reviews, I have a game show. We do giveaways all the time. Once I hit my 3K, we're really close. I'm going to be pushing for it this week. So when we hit our 3K this week, I have a lot of fragrances I'm giving away for free. You don't even have to pay for the shipping. And I'm just really grateful to the community. I tell people this all the time. I had my second son, Caden, about 14 months ago. And I started the YouTube channel as like a smoke break. You know, I was getting no sleep and I was going in my office, running away every night for like 10-15 minutes and recording a fragrance video just to say I did because I had no time to be in my office. But it was my only level of sanity while I was taking care of my second son because I was participating in the evening care. And so for some sanity, I came in and started talking about fragrance, and lo and behold, people started connecting to it. I was sitting there like, man, out of all the fragrance people out there, why the heck would somebody watch me? And I still can't find the answer to that. But ever since the community has been growing so fast, I've vowed to be the best content creator in FragCom. And by best, what I mean is providing constant reviews, reviewing everything, not just stuff that I like, touching on everything that you guys would like to know about, every part of the buying experience, whether it's decants, decanting, discounting fragrances, how to get a community of friends that you can trade fragrances with, getting free content and information, seeing me go to the boutiques and the stores and showing you the best tips and tricks on how to get fragrances, showing you how to think through seasons and wearing experience and different price points. Anything that would be valuable to my own journey in fragrance, I've shared with you guys for free. And I feel like FragCom, from a content creator standpoint, is just so utterly boring. Nobody wants to sit around and watch reviews all day unless they're buying a fragrance. And even then, they're only going to do that a couple times before they just get utterly bored. And so we do game shows, we do collabs, we do the reviews because I know people still want to know the new stuff that's out. But we try to make entertainment, make it theatrical. We're going to get women on here soon. So we're going to have a lot of women come on and share their viewpoint on men's fragrances so you guys can see the mind of a woman and how it works, which is like a dark abyss. I wouldn't encourage it, but I want to see the female perspective on this channel and just appreciate women in fragrance. We just do everything in here, guys. I can't even speak on all the stuff I do. You know, I post 2 to 4 shorts every single day, long form videos once a day. I go live 3 to 4 times a week. I drop digital content. Last giveaway for our 2K sub hit, we gave away 32 bottles of fragrance. I mean, think about that, guys. We gave away 32 bottles and no one paid for shipping. That is ridiculous. My channel is small. So it's just, I'm just grateful. That's why I do it. So if you're new to the channel, subscribing is free. Give it a shot. You'll know after a couple of days whether or not this channel is valuable to you. But I post more than your favorite highest subscribed content creator, including Jeremy, including GentSense, including Chaos, all these guys. I post more than all these guys. So if fragrance is what you're into, fragrance is what I have. So with that being said, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And thanks for making these Q&As so lit. You guys have a blessed week. And hey, tomorrow's Monday. I hope you guys start your week off right, man. Until next time, be blessed.